What's up, guys? My name is Daniel, and here are 5 tips to get bookings on Outschool. If you're thinking about applying to Outschool, you can use the link in the description below. That'll make me your referring teacher. You can shoot me an email and I can help you get hired, create classes, and I also provide one-on-one coaching sessions through Zoom. Now, this isn't one of the 5 tips, but the best thing you can do for your Outschool career is to be a hard-working teacher and genuinely care about the families that you work with. Now, it's kind of a hard truth, but if you're not a generally nice person, you don't care about your students, and you're just doing Outschool to make money, you're not going to find success. I think many of the families who book my classes can tell that I try my best to make classes fun and meaningful for my students. With that being said, here are 5 tips to get bookings on Outschool. Tip number 1, use data. Outschool uses this chart to show you when students are taking classes. You can find a link to this in the description below, but you can also find it on the Outschool website. This updates in real time and it adjusts to your time zone. Now, Outschool also sends data through emails. In a recent email, they mentioned that most students fall between the ages of 3 and 13. They also mentioned that flex classes, these are classes that don't meet live over Zoom, haven't been doing as well as the other 3 types of classes. There are tons of data available. Use them. Tip number 2. Teach ongoing classes. Now, every class is different and you want to have some one-time classes as well. In another video, I mentioned that your first class should definitely be a one-time class. With that being said, my ongoing classes have been my most successful on Outschool. The beauty of ongoing classes is that once students enroll, they'll stay subscribed in the class unless they unsubscribe. Also, if they do miss 3 classes in a row, Outschool will automatically unsubscribe them. But getting these repeat students every week will really help with bookings. I teach discussion classes for up to 9 kids in a class. They meet twice a week for 55 minutes. In my baseball talk class, I have about 50 students every week. I also have about 50 students in my football talk class as well. Now remember, these classes meet twice per week. This means that I'm averaging about 200 bookings per week just from these sports discussion classes. Now, these make for popular ongoing classes because the sports world is constantly changing. There are always new things to talk about. I've also been able to build a sense of community in these classes. Kids are making friends with each other and it makes them not want to miss the next class. It would be much harder to fill up 25 one-time classes each week. Ongoing classes are great because you're getting so many repeat students. It also really has that classroom feel that you would find in a brick and mortar setting. Students get used to the class structure, they get to know each other and make friends, and you can really watch them grow in this format. Tip number 3, have classes that relate to each other. So in tip number 2, I mentioned that ongoing classes are great because you're getting those repeat students, but you can also get this with your one-time classes. So I teach those ongoing sports discussion classes, but I also have one-time classes for baseball trivia, football trivia, and even sports show and tell. I can't tell you how many times I've had students sign up for a second class with me shortly after the first one finishes. Make sure you're using the next class option on the class listing. This will show up on your class listing as a suggestion for a class to take next. Tip number 4, don't sell yourself short. When a lot of new teachers start on Outschool, they think, I have to charge very small amounts for my classes because I'm unproven or I'm just doubtful that my classes will get booked. Charge less, get more sales. Now, this sounds great, but a lot of times this creates a boomerang effect where the exact opposite happens of your intended result. A low price might signal to the buyer that your product is of lower quality. Families might think, if she's such a great teacher, why is she only charging $5 per hour? So value pricing can actually backfire and cause you to lose bookings. The opposite end of this spectrum is called premium pricing. This means that if people see a higher price on a class, they may be inclined to think that class is of higher quality. Now, of course, you should not charge an exorbitant amount of money for a class. Just know that perception is often reality, and slashing prices is not going to guarantee you more bookings. Remember, on Outschool, you are a business and this is a marketplace. So if you underestimate your potential and sell yourself short, it could hurt you in the long run. So believe in yourself and show people that you're a hot commodity. Tip number 5. experiment. My Outschool journey has been far from perfect, but I've kept an open mind and I've learned from my successes and my failures. I've opened up classes that didn't get a single booking. I've taught lessons that did not go so well and I got bad reviews, but I've always been willing to experiment and try new things. You can offer new classes, you can change your class descriptions, you can try new features out in Zoom in the classroom. You can mix up your schedule times, try big classes, try small classes. Try to treat every experience as a learning experience. And don't get discouraged if something doesn't work out. I love this quote from Thomas Edison. I didn't fail, I just found 2,000 ways not to make a light bulb. This rings so true for Outschool. Like I said, you are a business. Businesses take experimentation. My first baseball discussion class had 1 student. It would have been easy to say, well, that was a swing and a miss, and just give up on that class. Fast forward a month later, and I now have 6 nearly fully booked sections of that class. If you're willing to experiment, eventually you'll invent your own light bulb. All right, guys, that's it for today. Remember to use the link in the description below if you want to apply to Outschool. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.